Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binaries. Welcome back to another video. My name is Grant the Medic, but you can just call me The. As you can see, I've achieved 400 subscribers thanks to your help, and a few months ago I promised to the fans that I would make a special new video once I reach this milestone, the Angry Birds Star Wars 2 review. I genuinely didn't expect to get this many subscribers considering I didn't upload for 3 months. Thank you so much. You guys really kept my channel going for so long, and I honestly would have quit a year ago if it wasn't for your support. Anyway, I don't really think anyone cares that I'm happy, so let's get on with the review. Angry Birds Star Wars 2 was a nostalgic game I've owned ever since I was 6 years old. Unfortunately, it was removed from the App Store, so most of you can't install it. But I can, because I purchased the game before it was removed. When I started playing, I had pretty high expectations. Not because I wanted to be overly critical of the game, but because I really wanted it to live up to my original obsession with the game. Did it meet those expectations? Well, let's find out. Starting with the gameplay. The gameplay isn't anything phenomenal, but it's still really good. It's basically just Angry Birds with blasters and lightsabers with the occasional unique level gimmick to keep you interested. This game really shines with the unique way the characters are designed. For example, Emperor Palpatine has this really cool lightning mechanic, where he uses force lightning wherever you tap on the screen, causing destruction for any birds in its path. And I really like the conductivity gimmick they gave it. Basically, metal substances are easier for the lightning to spread across and destroy, but wood and glass are difficult to break. It's just such a cool way to make a character. A lot of characters have equally unique mechanics. For example, some can shoot lasers that reflect off metal, Mace Windu can throw his lightsaber like a boomerang, C-3PO can dismember himself, etc, etc. However, the world design for this game is just okay in my opinion. Nothing great, nothing bad. Some of the locations are super unique. For example, in Porkside's Battle of Naboo, they introduced a new cool water mechanic where you slowly float back to the surface of the water upon diving in it. It doesn't seem very interesting at first, but they do some cool things with it. In most levels of Battle of Naboo, you dive underwater and strike the birds from below. It's a pretty interesting gimmick to me, and they've definitely done some great ideas with it. That being said, the worlds they chose to make are questionable to say the least. Like, we spent 3 worlds in the Phantom Menace, 6 if you consider the Bird side and Pork side separate worlds. We get half a Revenge of the Sith world. I'm not joking. The only Revenge of the Sith gameplay in the entire game is on Pork side's Revenge of the Pork, and the Bird side subworld is the Battle of Geonosis. But like, imagine if you could go to Kashyyyk and play through Order 66 as Yoda and Chewbacca. Or you could fight Grievous as Kenobi and Cody. But no, and so we had to spend 3 worlds on the worst Star Wars movie in the entire series. Also, one of the worlds is titled Invasion of Naboo, and another is titled Battle of Naboo. I'm sorry, but that just seems really lazy to me. While I'm kind of disappointed with the worlds they chose to make, I think most of them were excellently executed. Despite the blatant similarities between Invasion of Naboo and Battle of Naboo, they actually did a great job at making the 2 worlds unique in gameplay. They also did a great job at making the scenery unique despite both of them being on the same planet. In Invasion of Naboo, they put beautiful waterfalls and a wonderful palace in the background. Meanwhile, Battle of Naboo takes place on a chaotic battlefield. That's a pretty good job at making the 2 worlds distinct, and I'm so glad they did it well. The level design is really great too, but I'll come back to that later. For now, I wanted to focus on how good of an adaptation the game is. This mainly focuses on how true the gameplay stays to its source material and how well it turns it into a game. And, in my opinion, this is the game's main flaw for a few reasons. So, first of all, I think what they chose to include in the game was a little disappointing. Again, we spend a lot of time on the Phantom Menace, and I can't really say I'm satisfied with it. Seriously, they gave a huge disservice to Revenge of the Sith. However, I can't really blame them because of the way most of the group is separated and how it'd be hard to unite them all as a full cast on a single world. But they found a way to include tons of new characters into other worlds. For example, Yoda appears on Naboo despite never happening in the movie. Same goes for Mace Windu and the Padawans on Cloud City. Only Anakin and Obi-Wan were chasing Zam Wesell, but they managed to include a ton of other characters. I can't imagine it'd be that difficult for other parts of the story. I also found it strange how they decided to execute each part of the story too. For example, the Tatooine Porkside subworld. They decided that Maul and his buddies would kill a ton of Jawas while chasing Qui-Gon, and there are a lot of things wrong with that statement alone. First of all, Maul didn't bring anyone else on his mission to Tatooine. Darth Sidious had sent him and no one else. And isn't the entire point of sending someone to do something is that you don't have to do it yourself? Secondly, why are they murdering innocent Jawas? They have nothing to do with your space wars. Just go attack Qui-Gon's entourage without causing a scene. The Revenge of the Sith adaptation isn't much better either. So Grievous escapes to Mustafar, and I guess literally everyone shows up there too. I'm not joking. Grievous, the Emperor, Anakin, some droids, and some clones all show up on Mustafar to kill the Separatists, ignoring that in the original movie only Anakin was sent and had killed them all with ease. So yeah, the game as an adaptation is flawed even if it stands as a perfectly decent game itself. Anyway, back to something positive. The level design. The level design is amazing in my opinion. Every level feels unique and fresh, and most of them are built to complement the abilities of your current character or characters, utilizing their main ability and certain gimmicks about them too. A good example of this, in my opinion, is level B116, which makes it so that you need to use Yoda's bouncing spin attack to climb up a little hole you're put in, and you can't reach the top without doing this. I also liked level P1S3's usage of magnets to get you to move the droidekas across the stage, and wow, if you do it correctly, you'll feel so nice. Just look at this. Lastly, I almost love all the boss fights throughout the series. They're arguably some of the most memorable and replayable levels. While I was writing this review, I ended up going back and playing through the Qui-Gon plus Obi-Wan fight just for the fun of it. The boss fights also add special abilities to inanimate characters and objects too. For example, Obi-Wan has force powers, and the Slave One can shoot lasers at stray enemies. And every boss fight makes use of all the characters you've gathered throughout the subworlds, making them even more climactic and awesome. There are a few more things I'd like to cover before I get to the conclusion of this review. First of all of the art and character designs are genuinely amazing, and I love all of it. Like, seriously, Kamino's background is so appealing, I could set it as my laptop's wallpaper. Great job to the artists at Rovio. The music is awesome, too, as it always is. And if you finish every world in the game, you have the reward chapters and choose your destiny bonus worlds to complete, which are pretty cool too. We've now reached the end of the review, and it's time to leave my final thoughts. I think this game is great, and the gameplay is always fun and satisfying. I found myself randomly replaying this game even after beating it years ago, and it's a little sad to see that there will never be an Angry Birds Star Wars 3. Nevertheless, I loved playing through this game and revisiting it to make a review. However, while it succeeds with its gameplay as a story adaptation, it's a little weak as I previously covered. So I suppose you'll either love or hate the game depending on what you want out of it. And for my opinion, I'd say it's an 8 out of 10 game. Obviously not one of my favorites of all time, no, not even close, but it's still great and I'm glad to have experienced it myself. Anyway, I'm going to leave a quick message for my fans before I go off. All you casual viewers can scurry off now. Alright, now, for all my 400 subscribers out there, thank you so much for supporting the content and following the channel. Sometimes it felt like you guys were the only ones keeping me company, and I'd still wake every day to check my notifications to see if any of you have anything to say. I appreciate all of you and wish the best for you. If you want to make me, if you want me to make more videos on this game, if you want me, oh my god, I'm so tired, I'm sorry. If you want me to make more videos on this game, like rankings of the characters, worlds, etc., leave your feedback in the comments below and I'll be sure to check them out. That's all for now, see you later.